This will be my 2019 SNES collection, also known as the Super Nintendo. So I got 25 games, so let's get started. Disney's Aladdin. Fantastic side-scroller, awesome game. I am looking forward to the live-action Aladdin film. It does look good. Even Will Smith as the genie, he's not too bad. You know, at first, when they first teased him, it's like, but now he's gotten much better now. And they also made him blue, and he's definitely not Robin Williams, but I'm definitely looking forward to watching the Aladdin film. It's gonna be good. Super Star Wars, another fantastic side-scrolling game. A bunch of these are side-scrollers. Batman Forever, another side-scroller. That's actually a pretty good Batman game. In my opinion, it's pretty good. And that Star Wars game is pretty good too, even though it gets very, very hard very quickly. Disney's Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle Games. This is kind of like a party game, like it's got a mixture of Tetris and stuff like that type of elements in it. So it's not really a side scroller too much, but it is good though. Speaking of Tetris, Tetris Attack. It's like a normal Tetris game. Wario's Woods. This is very, very Tetris-like, except you're, instead of playing with blocks, you're actually playing with Wario, and it's very, very Tetris-like, like I said. So, there's that one. Math Blaster. I grew up playing this on the computer, and then I guess down the road they eventually brought this out on the Super Nintendo. It's an educational game, so there you go, educational. Why not? ACME Animation Factory. It's got Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck right there. This is a art game where you do a lot of arts and craft and stuff and painting and stuff like that. They came out with another game that was similar to this, except it was Mario. I think it's called Mario Paint or something like that. And I wouldn't mind having that if I can get my hands on it, along with the mouse. There's a mouse that you can buy for the Super Nintendo that plays with that game. I wouldn't mind getting both of them if possible. Fun with Numbers. Mario's Early Years. Fun with Numbers. It's another educational game. Might as well be, right? You gotta have your education, kids. No, don't do that no more. Super Mario World. Fantastic side-scrolling game. This game is very long, and it gets hard very quickly. But it's so much fun. Awesome Mario game. Very good. Which they did come out with a sequel, and I do have it as well. Let's get to it. Super Mario All-Stars. This is a mixture of Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3, and Lost Levels, all on one cartridge for the Super Nintendo. And all of them are side-scrollers. Awesome Mario games. Speaking of Super Mario World, the sequel, here it is. Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Awesome side-scrolling Yoshi game. Fantastic. Very annoying, especially when it comes to the time where Baby Mario's, when Yoshi gets hit and he's riding on your back constantly, that's where he sits at. You get hit, he falls off, he starts crying and goes into a bubble, and you have to catch him. And on top of that, the bubble starts counting down, so if you don't get to him to a certain amount of time, he dies, and you lose a life. So yeah, but it's a good game though. That's just aggravating and annoying, but it's a good game. Secret of Mana, or Secret of Mana. however you want to say it, or however the proper way to say it. Awesome open world style game. It's very, very Zelda-like. Speaking of Zelda, I have a Zelda game in my collection, which I will get to that. But this game also got remade or remastered for PS4. And I think that's it right now. I think in Japan, I think they brought it over to the Nintendo Switch, but they didn't bring it over here, which sucks because that game that on the Switch is, I think it's called the Secret of Mana Collection. So that's a totally different subject, but fantastic game, very, very Zelda-like, awesome game. And if you try to find this online anywhere, it's very expensive. I'm so glad and so happy that Kevin, who's also known as another name on Twitter, no, not Twitter, Twitch. A bunch of my Super Nintendo games were all given to me by him, but I did pay for them. But thank you, Kevin. Very expensive game. I'm so lucky that I have it. I don't know how in the world I would afford it. Speaking of Zelda, here it is. The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Fantastic Zelda game. Awesome Zelda game. The first Zelda game I ever played. I love this game. It's very, very open world. I guess you can call the Zelda games RPG, basically. Because you do upgrade your weapons and stuff like that. But I love this Zelda game. It's fantastic. It was remade for the 3DS, titled as A Link Between Worlds. But this is a fantastic Zelda game. Amazing. So good. Star Fox, the original. I think they came out with a Star Fox 2, but it was only available on the SNES Classic Edition. Is a digital copy because all the games on that console are all digital. But this is the first one, and the sequel was never brought over to a physical copy. Not officially. And if you want to find out what I mean by that, there are some YouTubers out there that came out with some physical copies of Star Fox 2, but they're unofficial by Nintendo released. So, there you go. But it's unofficial. Another awesome side-scrolling game. And Star Fox is not a side-scroller. I'm not sure how you would classify it. I guess it would be a space shooter or just a shooter in general. So, yeah. Alright, another side-scroller, The Lion King. Fantastic game, really good. I'm so looking forward to the live-action Lion King movie with James Earl Jones back as Mufasa. I cannot wait to see that movie. A lot of people don't like the way Scar looks in the movie. I think he looks pretty good to be live action. I think he looks pretty good. So I can't wait to see it. Fantastic game. Another fantastic side-scrolling game, the Animaniacs. Awesome game. I remember watching this cartoon when I was growing up. It was a crazy show. Good cartoon. They got into a lot of trouble. And that's a good game as well. Animaniacs. Okay. Disney's The Jungle Book. Another fantastic side-scrolling game. They made a live-action Jungle Book movie, which it's not like I've never done that before, but I'm talking about the one with Bill Murray in it. Awesome movie, and they're supposed to make a sequel sometime in the future, and I can't wait for that one, because that one was a good movie. Fantastic game. Getting close to being done. This is kind of like a racing game, but technically not. I'll explain why. Tasmania. I think this game was released on Sega Genesis, but the Sega Genesis version was a side-scroller. This one, you play as Taz, and you could spin and run on a highway, and you're eating chickens and stuff, and that's your goal. You have to eat the chickens, and you have to avoid the cars and stuff. So I'm not sure what you would call this. I don't know. And it's not a racing game, but I don't know what to classify this as. But yeah, but it's interesting. It gets very hard very quickly, but it is fun though. Speaking of racing games, classic racing game, the game that started the whole series, Super Mario Kart. I'll have to thank my best friend who on YouTube goes by the name Guitar Boy. Go check out his channel, awesome channel. He gave me this. I was supposed to buy this from him, but he gave it to me, and I thank you so much, man. That was amazing of you to actually do that. So I have the original Mario Kart game that started the whole franchise. Awesome. Okay, Frogger. Frogger is not really a side scroller, but if you played Frogger or know anything about Frogger or heard anything about Frogger, I'm not sure what you would classify what Frogger would be. I guess kind of arcadey, I guess. I don't know. Because you jump from platform to platform and you're trying to avoid. Well, just go look up some gameplay on Frogger. It's kind of hard to explain what it is, but it gets very, very hard very, very quickly. As soon as you start playing it, it gets hard. Maybe not for everybody, but it does for me. But Frogger is good to play sometimes. I don't play it all the time, but it is good though. Speaking of some more awesome side-scrollers, Donkey Kong Country, the original. I'm missing the third game. I do plan to get it as soon as possible. Awesome Donkey Kong Country game. The first game that started the whole series. And then Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest. Like I said, I will get the third game as soon as I can. I want to get it. It was my favorite actually. Even though 1 and 2 are really good, but 3 was my favorite. Monopoly. It plays like Monopoly, except you're playing it in a video game form instead of playing it as a board game. And of course, Monopoly has come out on multiple consoles now. It even came out on the Nintendo Switch, and the Nintendo Switch version looks very creative. It looks like it would be really, really fun. It innovates what the Switch is capable of, and it's pretty neat. So I definitely want to check that out once I can get it on Switch. Last game, Pack Attack, which is basically Pac-Man, but this is, yes, it basically is Pac-Man. I thought this was I don't know why, but I was trying to make that be Mrs. Pac-Man, which they did come out with a Mrs. Pac-Man, but this is Pac-Man. I guess they just titled it Pack Attack. So yes, this is Pac-Man. And they did make a Pac-Man style movie. It was called Pixels. I enjoyed the film. It starred Adam Sandler, and it starred the dwarf guy from off of Game of Thrones. I mean, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it for what it was. But yeah, this is my SNES. This is my 2019 SNES collection, Super Nintendo collection, whatever you want to call it. This is it. I'm Auckland. If you enjoy my content, please hit the subscribe button, like button, also share with your friends if you don't mind, and also please comment. Ask me a question or just a comment in general, and I'll do my best to answer it. And also, if you don't mind, hit the notification bell down below, and you'll be notified when I go live or upload another video. Alright, thank you so much. Alright, bye.